Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video is in my opinion a very cool analyzing video. We will be watching and analyzing Aron, the new Season 14 #1 Predator on PC. Aron is a beast of a player from Hong Kong, plays with MK and lately he has been shooting up on the leaderboards, creating a wide gap between him and the number 2, having almost 20,000 AP. Aron is a very skilled player, so I will feature him twice. I have a lot of awesome footage from him. In this video I will show 2 games from Aron playing on dropoff and showing off another masterclass on how to play dropoff on the highest level. In the first game he is playing against the current number 3 whilst being on 250 ping, which is pretty crazy to think about. Make sure to check out Aron's Twitter and Twitch. I really recommend watching him on Twitch because he is insane and super exciting to watch. Also I would appreciate it if you would subscribe so you won't miss the next analyzing video. Alright, let's start. Alright, starting with round number 1, he starts with the nade in his hand and a really beautiful puff grapple to take immediate control of the center, or at least he is trying to. As you can see the puff there climbed up, so he's forced to low ground at this point. I think the enemy puff made a bit of a mistake to drop down here. He did kill Aron. And the Maggie of the enemy team made an even bigger mistake to also drop down. This is really putting them in an unfortunate spot. And this is beneficial for Aron's team and they should win this based on their positioning. The Maggie of Aron's team got a knock, so now it's a 2v2. As you can see, the teammates of Aron are taking beautiful angles, out-angling the enemy team, and they win the round. Right, moving up to round number 2. Obviously the older Python will try to do the same, but since Aron's grapple was a lot better, he can just pull center. It's kind of a cis angle from the enemy puff. And unfortunately he does get 2v1. The puff finder of the enemy team unfortunately climbed up and he was facing the Maggie and the puff at once and they basically 4-tapped him together.
Not dropping. Looking at you.
The Maggie of the enemy team is extremely skilled. She's number 3 at the moment, so that's not someone to take lightly. And unfortunately they lose the round.
I got booped by them.
Right, moving up to the 3rd round. And he swapped out his Mozambique for a Havoc. This is something Aron likes to do, is just to
Just live.
get his Havoc in the 3rd round on drop-off and swap his Mozambique out because he's just a lot better with the Havoc. And his teammates got a really early knock and a 2nd knock already, so now it's a 3v1 and that was a really easy round. His teammates really put in the work there. So now round number 4. And he sent on his boxes, tried to get a nice angle and a head glitch on the people walking into the door. But as you can see, the pathfinder of the enemy team decides to take a different approach and Aron really got punished for it. This is a really smart play on the enemy's team. Since he knows Aron will grapple in and take height for the head glitch there. From outside you have a great angle there on Aron. And that was a great counter for them. And this will win them a round since Aron didn't do any damage. And it's a 3v2 with 3 people being completely full, unfortunate. So better luck next round. Right, moving up to the 5th round. He will do his puff grapple again with a nade in his hand, but this time he plays it a little bit different and moves immediately to the right and focuses the Octane. He's alone there, so he can 1v1 him there. And he immediately kills the Octane. This is really nice and this basically wins him the round from the start already. What I noticed about Aron is that he usually really picks up the pace later in the rounds. I've seen him lose like the first 2 rounds a lot of the time, and then when the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, 7th, 8th round happen, he was really slapping around. Like maybe it's just that he really doesn't want to lose and then goes complete sweat mode, but it's really saw in his playstyle, so that's interesting. The other 2 players are holding head glitches, so he's kind of hesitant to push in. This is smart because they have hammers and if he needs to push in, they have basically no cover to play with, and getting 4-tapped by these very high level players is very likely. So they're taking the smart approach and try to out-angle them. And if they keep up this playstyle, they will definitely win.
One shot, nice.
He got the puff did get his teammate, but yeah. Aron was there to cover him, and unfortunately the Octane of his team decided to solo push and lost the 1, so now it's a 1v1. This is probably not a play they should have made, but that's what it's come down to. Maggie almost got him there, but fortunately Aron clutches up with the Havoc and he won the round. So moving up to round number 6. Aron will grappling to the right side of center and the Octane will go all the way left. Maggie straight behind him and he recognized the Puff trying to make the same play on him that he tried before and succeeded with, but this time he counters him with that play and the Puff is basically won here. As you can see there are 2 on bridge there, so he really can push in and Puff got knocked anyways by the Maggie who recognized him being low. It was great team play over there.
I'm healing.
And Maggie tried to challenge his Maggie because she was cracked, but he really recognizes instantly and wrapped around to out-angle her from the back. Octane was weak and he can just grapple up to finish him and they win the game. This was really well played by them.
Well, do we fight them? Well, I think we just take it and leave. I think.
So the second game on dropoff will be against another high-level Pred squad. Aron told me that Bangalore was most likely hacking. So this will be a very difficult game for him to win, but yeah, in the end they clutched up, so we will see how he does it. So starting with the first round, he will grapple in again like always with the Thermite in his hand to block the door, so the enemy team can push in. The Pathfinder of the enemy team doesn't even contest here, so this is an interesting play. Usually the Pathfinder will grapple in to secure zone control, but they don't do it. So we have one at the right door, one at low ground, and the other enemy is all the way on the left, challenging Pet, the Maggie. And that is the Bangalore, and this is the one Aron told me he is probably hacking. Unfortunately, since the Maggie got knocked, the other enemies could just push up and 2v1 Aron in the back and then kill Unicorns for the win this round. Alright, round number 2. Grapple in, throw Thermite at door, secure zone control. Very basic stuff at this point. And the enemy team tries to counter it with a lot of Thermites, but they didn't really throw them at multiple places, so they weren't that effective. And Aron and his team can maintain zone control. They get a knock. Unicorns got the one at pillar on the right side with a great angle over there. This is an angle you can really take when you have full zone control. And Aron can drop down to kill the guy who is healing behind the head glitch at spawn, and they win the round in like no time whatsoever. So round number 3. Of course it does the same stuff over again, because zone control over a center here is always advantageous to create multiple head glitch spots. And the enemy team is not effective with their nades at all, but they do a push from left side and get a knock on the Maggie from his team. But Unicorns got one with the Turbo Havoc and he is also really slapping with the Turbo Havoc and got another one out of the game. So now it's a 2v1, they can just heal up, reset and push the last guy together to secure the win. And they do so. A really fast and beautiful round once again. So moving up to round number 4. An enemy team is a bit more effective with their nades this time, trying to push Aron out of his cover. Look at those amazing shots on the guy at pillar on the right. This is really nicely played by him. Unfortunately Unicorns is one and he's on low ground. I think the enemy team recognizes, yes, and they 2v1 him and they got Unicorns out of the game, and Aron got absolutely destroyed there. He was just about to get to safety to heal up, but unfortunately he was like 1 meter too short and got downed, and his teammate goes down because it's a 3v1 at that point, and that was unlucky. Better luck next round. 5th round now. Thermite at door. Arc in to push them back. Arc to left side, try to push them out of cover. And he's looking for a beam behind the head glitch. Does get a beam, but unfortunately the arc there behind him cracked him. And unfortunately Unicorns also get cracked, and he didn't have an eye on the angle anymore, so Meki could just walk in and one pump Aron for the round, since Meki can just get 3v1 now. Better look next round. Moving up to the 6th round, same pattern. Grapples in, blocks the door there. Actually gets a stick on one on the right, and he can move in a little bit and tries to get an angle in between those 2 pieces of cover. Doesn't get a knock. It did a lot of damage and Unicorns can clean him up. Now he has a 1v1 with the Maggie. Some actually goated shots there on there and gets hair off the game, so now it's a 2v1. So Unicorns and Aron can just heal up, reset and find the last guy for the win. Last guy is holding head glitch spot at spawn. Does cracking. Unfortunately, he got knocked. He was on 120 HP, but Unicorns can just clean him up for the win this round. So, the 7th round. I think it's really funny to see that Havoc is being so used here. Maybe it's something on the Eastern servers that the meta is slightly different, because you don't see Mozam that much actually, and you see more Turbo Havocs in late rounds, and usually in EU and NA you really see Mozams all round, so that's interesting. It's good to see different metas over different regions, I love that. Unfortunately he did lose his one there quite heavily. And they get all cleaned up and lose the round. So round 8, match point for the enemy team, so they really need to play on their best level that they can. This time I see Aron putting it 2 times on his Havoc instead of a 1 time. This indicates that he will play a little bit more on medium range to get a slight change strategy, and he moves to the right door. The puff there got completely stuck and out angled, because there was one on left star and one on right star from Aron's team, and he could just easily wipe it. Unfortunately, Unicorn got knocked there. He could probably got 2v1. Oh no, he actually got one, so now it's a 1v1. Cracks the Maggie, but he loses the one. This is unfortunate. But the Maggie of the enemy team is in complete open. She has no cover to play with. She was correct, and his teammate was playing Mozam, so it's basically over for her. So moving up to round number 9. He changed his strategy by quite a bit to nade right door and has an instant look on left door. The enemy team is more reluctant to push in at this point, so this is advantageous for them. Some really nice shots on the enemy over there. Unicorns is kind of standing in the open, got punished for it really hard by getting knocked, so at this point it's a really tough situation for Aron. But he has a great angle on the Maggie, wrapped around, she didn't even notice. And completely destroys the Pathfinder there, so now it's a 2v1. He goes to the door, he almost got knocked there, so really nice play to disengage there and take a battery. And they win. This was really well played by Aron. What a clutch. So this was the gameplay video from Aron, the current number 1 on PC. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you next time. Cheers!